Hello friends, I just wanted to show you a little bit today about what I'm working on. I made a journal last summer as a gift for somebody, my very first journal, and I'm now making a second journal. So I just kind of wanted to show you what the creative process looks like because, oh my goodness, it looks like a bomb exploded. This is my dream box. Love my dream box. It's a company in Utah. But anyway, it's my storage and a table for my workspace. So these are all images. All these little things here are images that I printed out onto cardstock and fussy cut. This is a bookmark I made. That's dried flowers from Rail Lake. And the only issue is I glued on the image on the back upside down. But there she is. Isn't she gorgeous? And it's sealed with something called diamond triple thick glaze, and that's what gives it the shine. And I did some metallic foiling on it, and that's ink spray on the background. There's my Rail Lake dried wildflowers. This is the cover for the journal I'm making. I've already Mod Podged, that's the front cover. And sorry, it's hard to do this one-handed and not shake the camera too much, but that's the inside, of course. I'm doing what's called a hidden spine. So the spine, there's another piece of wrapped cardboard that will get glued in here, and the signatures, which are the groups of pages, will be stitched into that hidden spine, and then the hidden spine gets glued into here, and then there you have a book. And that's the back of it. What a beautiful image that is as well. Oh, and then this is going to be this lovely fabric. This is a piece of upholstery sample that I managed to find a book once many years ago at the thrift store. So this is going to be glued on as the spine. These over here are what I call Franken pages. Essentially, it's a way of recycling. This is a page that had been used at one time at work or at home. Something was printed on the opposite side of it, but it had one side blank. So I coffee stained and let them dry outside in the sun on our metal table, and you get this kind of cool pattern. And then on the other side, where all the printing or typing is, or whatever, handwriting, whatever, I rip up book pages that I have coffee dyed, again in the summertime. And it looks really neat when you just use all sorts of different book pages. Like here, this is an old German script book, maybe a hymnal or something like that. I have an old dictionary, and it's amazing. This old dictionary, the paper is so fragile. And I don't mean old as in valuable. I just mean old as in well-loved and well-used. Again, thrift store books is what I do this with. So yeah, there's my Franken pages. These are some other things I've set aside in the intention that they're going to be my journal. I'm just going to try and pull this out here without shaking you around too much. Move that out of the way. So these are actually images, and yes, I cheated this time, and instead of using like patterned cardstock paper from the scrapbook store, I bought digital images off of Etsy, and these are going to be my pages in the journal as well. So this is just 2 pages. I've already laid them out how I want them to be, but this is 2 pages. And I'm going to be sewing the edges. So that will actually make 4 pages, as in 1, 2, 3, 4, in the book, in the journal. So yeah, I've got those all ready to stitch with the sewing machine. That's the first time I'm going to be trying to do that. Now we'll go look at the rest of the explosion in my room. This over here is my journal making supplies. I haven't yet determined. I have some cutting dies I've pulled out, tag shapes and things that I may use. I've got laces and fabrics. That white little container is all sorts of cards and doilies and things that I picked up at the thrift stores. A lot of my supplies are from thrifting. The majority actually are from thrifting because there's so many neat things you can use. You could use seam binding, which you can find at any thrift store, and it comes in so many different colors. You can find lace. Now I'm just going to go over here to my desk. So these are coffee dyed book pages. They're all coffee dyed. That's what I used for my Franken pages. These are thrifted laces, which I've set here because I intend to use these colors and styles. And then what do I have? I have a stencil, which does lovely effects. This is, for instance, a journal has tags in it, and this is one of the tags I'm using this time. This is how it looks to start. This is a tag I'm in the process of making. I've finished this side. I might add a little bit of lace or something still to it. I thought this was kind of cute. I'd put a little book in here. Sorry, can you see that? The light is shining in here. So yeah, so it's just a little book as an accent. And then on the other side, I'm in the process. This is a pocket. So for example, this is something I printed on cardstock and I ink dyed the edges already, and I still am going to use a stencil to do a subtle detail on this side, and then this will be a writing surface if the recipient of the journal likes, and then that just will get tucked in there. This is another cool thing. This is just 2 pieces of cardstock that I printed, and they actually came like this, the pattern. It was a free image I've got online, a page full of these. So I just cut them out and I glued these 2 together. And I'm going to take thread or eyelash yarn and just wind it around the spool, and it's going to make a little effect. And I have a little scissors charm I'll just attach dangling off there. And if you're not into vintage look junk journaling, well, I guess this is pretty meaningless and of little interest to you. But yeah, these are just also little things like fussy cut images. Some of them are free. Some of them are from things I purchased, digital pages I purchased online. This was a free image. I printed 2, and I'm going to glue them together, and they're going to get glued on like a tab on a tag or a tab on a page. Yeah, so you just can pull it out easier. I've clipped them together so I don't misplace them amongst my big mess. And when you take books apart, of course, you're left with all sorts of pages from the interior. So this is a book that this is a book I disassembled for the last journal I made, and I'm using it as a glue book. And by what I mean by that is when you're gluing stuff, and for the Franken pages, for instance, I just used a glue stick for them. So when you're using your glue stick, of course, I get messy, so you just glue on your scrap pages here, and then I set them aside, and they'll eventually get used for something too. And here are items I printed on cardstock and cut out that I will be using in my journal. I already decided. A great thing to have on hand when you're doing paper crafting. I buy these at the dollar store. They're just little facial wipes, but I can use them to, for instance, wipe off my silicone mat or glue my hands. Of course, I need to have my Tim Holtz Distress ink pad, which I use on the edges of all my pages. I use this color. It's called Vintage Photo. That's what gives this nice effect. And the background pattern here is from just using a stencil and the Tim Holtz Distress Vintage Photo color. So yeah, just wanted to show you what I'm up to, and I hope you're all having a great weekend. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.